Right now, somewhere in Australia, someone is feeling pretty good about their money. They've done the responsible thing. They shopped around. They found a savings account paying 5%, maybe a bit more. The words high interest are right there in the name. The balance ticks up a little every month. It feels safe. It feels smart. And every single month, that money is quietly buying them less. Not because they did anything wrong, because of two forces working against them that the bank will never put on the brochure. And once you see how they stack up, you can never unsee it. So, let's actually do the maths. Not the maths the bank shows you, the maths that's really happening. First, let's be fair to the savings account. For the first time in over a decade, cash is actually paying something. The Reserve Bank has lifted the cash rate 3 times this year, and it's sitting at 4.35%. When that happens, banks compete for your deposits, and savings rates climb with it. The best accounts are advertising rates with a 5 in front of them. A couple are flirting with 6. After years of savings accounts paying you basically nothing, that feels like a genuine win. And the instinct behind it is good. Keeping cash. Avoiding risk. Not gambling with your future. That's the opposite of reckless. But here's the thing nobody tells you. The same reason your savings rate went up is the exact reason it's not enough. Rates went up because inflation went up. Those two things travel together. And inflation is the first force quietly eating your savings. There are 2 taxes on cash. Only one of them has the word tax in it. The first is the obvious one. Interest from a savings account is income. The tax office treats it exactly like the money from your job, so it gets added to your income and taxed at your marginal rate. For most working Australians, anyone earning between roughly $45,000 and $135,000, that marginal rate is 30%, plus the 2% Medicare levy. 32% gone, off the top of your interest. So watch what happens to that lovely 5%. 5% minus 32% in tax leaves you with 3.4%. That's what actually lands in your account. Now the second tax, the silent one. Inflation. Right now, inflation is running at 4%. That's how much more expensive life is getting every year. Your groceries, your power bill, your rent, your insurance. So put the two side by side. Your money grew by 3.4% after tax. The cost of your life grew by 4%. You are not standing still. You are going backwards by about 0.5% a year. In real, what it actually buys you terms. Read that again. A 5% savings account for a normal Australian worker is a guaranteed slow loss of purchasing power. Right now. Today. And that's the good scenario. That's if you've done everything right. Let me show you 3 places this gets worse. Number 1. The best advertised rate in the entire country right now is just under 6%. Sounds unbeatable. But run the same maths. For a typical worker, after tax and after inflation, that headline rate gives you a real return of basically 0. You break even. You tread water. And here's the catch they bury in the fine print. That rate only lasts about 4 months. Then it drops to 4%, and you quietly slide into negative territory like everyone else. That's the honeymoon trap. The big number gets you in the door. The small number is where you actually live. Number 2. Most of those eye-catching rates are bonus rates. To earn them, you have to jump through hoops every single month. Deposit a minimum amount. Grow your balance. Make a certain number of transactions. Don't withdraw. Miss one condition, and you don't get the bonus. You drop to the base rate, which on some accounts is almost nothing. Number 3, and this is the big one. The money most people aren't even thinking about. The cash just sitting in an everyday account or a savings account paying 1 or 2% because they opened it years ago and never looked again. For that money, after tax and inflation, the real loss isn't 0.5%. It's closer to 3% a year. Every year, That's not an account doing nothing. That's an account actively shrinking what you can buy. So here's the uncomfortable reframe. A savings account is not an investment. It never was. It's a holding pen. Its job is safety and access, not growth. And the moment you treat it like a long-term home for your wealth, that high interest label starts working against you. Let me make this real with a number you can feel. Imagine you've got $50,000, a solid, sensible chunk of savings, and you leave it in a competitive 5% account as a normal taxpayer, and you just let it sit there. After 10 years, in today's money, what it can actually buy you, that $50,000 has shrunk to about $47,000. You didn't spend a cent. The number on the screen went up the whole time, and you still lost nearly $3,000 of real buying power. Now here's the contrast, not a promise. History doesn't come with guarantees, but a pattern that's held over many decades. A diversified, low-cost basket of shares has tended to grow faster than inflation over the long run. Let's say it does what it's broadly done historically and beats inflation by around 4% a year. That same $50,000 over the same 10 years in real terms grows to around $74,000. Same starting point, same 10 years. One path quietly costs you $3,000 of buying power. The other adds tens of thousands. The gap between them is more than $25,000. And the only difference is where you decided to park money you weren't going to touch anyway. That is the real cost of cash. It's not the interest you earn. It's the growth you give up. Now, before you write cash off completely, there's one place it does something completely different. And if you've got a mortgage, this might be the most important 90 seconds of this video. It's called an offset account. Here's how it works. An offset is a transaction account linked to your home loan. Whatever sits in it gets subtracted from your loan balance before the bank works out your interest. Park $10,000 in your offset against a $400,000 loan, and the bank only charges you interest on $390,000. So instead of earning interest, you're avoiding it. And that one little difference changes everything because of tax. Remember the problem with the savings account. The interest you earn is income, so the tax office takes its cut. But money you save in an offset isn't income. You're not earning a cent. You're just not being charged interest you otherwise would have paid. And you can't be taxed on an expense you didn't have. That makes an offset a tax-free return at your home loan rate. Right now, the average variable mortgage is sitting around 6.2%. So $1 in your offset is quietly working for you at 6.2%, completely tax-free. To match that with an ordinary savings account, where the tax office takes a third, a typical worker would need to find an account paying over 9%. A higher earner would need more than 10. There is no such account. The best in the country pays around 5. Put it in real, after inflation terms, and it's the only positive number in this entire video. After tax and inflation, that offset is earning you a genuine plus 2% a year, while your high-interest savings account is going backwards. Same safety, same instant access to your money whenever you need it. Completely different result. Remember that $50,000? Sitting in an offset against an average mortgage, it saves you about $3,100 a year, tax-free. In a 5% savings account, after tax, you'd keep around $1,700. That's $1,400 a year for doing nothing but moving the same money to a smarter spot. 2 honest catches, because I'm not here to oversell it. This only works if you've actually got a variable loan with an offset feature. No mortgage, no offset. And some loans charge a yearly package fee, often a few $100s, which can chew up the benefit if your offset balance is small. So it's not magic. But if you've got a home loan and you're sitting on cash in a separate savings account earning a taxed below inflation return, You are almost certainly leaving money on the table. So, what do you actually do with this? 4 things. 1. Know your real number. Take your savings rate, knock off your marginal tax, then knock off inflation. Whatever's left is your true return. For most people right now, that number is negative. Once you've seen it, you can't make lazy decisions with your cash anymore. 2. Right-size your cash. Cash has one job, and it's a vital one: an emergency fund and money for goals in the next year or two. A few months of expenses you can grab instantly, no questions asked. That money should be in the best savings account you can find, and the slow real loss is just the price of keeping it safe and available. That's not a mistake. That's insurance. 3. If you've got a mortgage, your offset beats your savings account. Full stop. We just did the maths. It's a tax-free return at your home loan rate, and nothing in the savings market can touch it. The money you keep for safety and short-term goals can sit in there doing double duty, instantly available when you need it, and quietly saving you interest the whole time. 4. Everything beyond your emergency fund and short-term goals. Money you genuinely won't need for 5, 10, 20 years. That money has no business sitting in cash. Not because cash is evil, but because its real job is safety. And you're paying for safety you don't need on money you won't touch. That's the money that belongs in long-term growth assets. Here's where I want to leave you. A high-interest savings account isn't a trap because the bank is lying to you. The rate is real. The safety is real. The problem is that we've been taught to see it as the destination. The sensible, grown-up place where money goes to be responsible. It's not the destination. It's the waiting room. Cash keeps your short-term money safe and within reach, and that is genuinely valuable. But it was never designed to build wealth, and right now, with tax on one side and inflation on the other, it can't even hold its ground. The boring truth is the one that's always been true on this channel. Real wealth gets built slowly, in low-cost, diversified, long-term assets, not in the account with the most impressive-sounding name. So go and find out your real number. Then decide, on purpose, how much of your money actually needs to be safe and how much of it you've just been letting quietly shrink. I'll see you in the next one.